All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I'm sending you so much good vibes, okay? Even though the world is going a little cuckoo puffs, okay? But this is why a lot of us healers and divine messengers are here to keep up the faith and the hope and educating. That's what we're here for, okay? Especially when knowledge is being censored and suppressed. So I really gladly appreciate if you guys like, comment, and share. I really appreciate it. Help us to beat the algorithm and whatever the suppression and oppression and censorship that is happening, because here we awakened and are in the energy of keeping the knowledge up, especially truth tellers, okay? We are here to boost also other content creators and other journalists. Please, I beg you, okay, go check out my Telegram, okay? There's multiple evidence and stuff was going on in Palestine, Syria, Yemen, Sudan as well. I haven't found anything on Congo, but I have some videos that I'm going to post here about Congo, okay? But you can follow those content creators as well. You can do the work that I do here as well. You can take your platforms and use your privilege and share, right? We're here to educate and eradicate white supremacy, racism, colonization and imperialist disgusting systems, capitalist system, oligarchs that doesn't serve nobody, only by the 1% who literally are just parasite on this planet, okay? Thank you so much. Another thing, there's a part 1, so if you haven't seen part 1, I would suggest to watch that first before watching this one. It will be in the comments, okay? It will be attached in the comments or in the description, okay? So gladly appreciate that. Also, before I came here, I just finished doing a podcast, and I'm going to put a video very soon that talks why is it about, but it's going to be next after this, because I recorded that yesterday while also planning with Father God and Spirit and my ancestors and your angels and guides, as I am a divine guide here. And again, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and please, 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 what is not for you, you let it be for somebody else, okay? Great. But yeah, so there's a podcast, number 94. Father God wanted you guys to have some self-control, but also he explains more details there why. There was an energy read that I did as well. I'll put the cards layout in the YouTube because it's posted on YouTube as well, but it's also in all your podcasts that you guys love. And thank you so much, guys, for boosting the Your Story Matter podcast. It has become international. I am really, I'm overwhelmed, of course, but also very grateful. I'm grateful that a lot of people are listening, are learning how to protect themselves, are taking their guidances, taking their messages, and confirm it with Father God. As I always say, go talk to God, go pray, and go fast, or if it's a confirmation for you, okay? But one thing that I forgot to mention, it's not coincidence, but in the podcast, there was one of the deck that I forgot to mention. It's something about fine print. A lot of you need to look at contracts, and you need to look at legal papers and stuff like that, because there's something that you need to look closer, okay, that you might miss. So a lot of you, if you're going through some paperwork or something like that, you need to recheck it. You need to recheck the work, okay? Something about detail, look closer, inspection, research, be careful. That also came up in another deck reading on the podcast as well, about a snake or someone who is very snaky energy, okay? So be careful with that. It says in depth, pay attention, don't assume, through, deep dive, hidden information, double check, read between the lines, okay? So a lot of you double check your information. Even I myself am constantly doing that, especially with content and stuff that is going online as well. So I know a lot of people feel like, oh, where'd you get that information and stuff like that? Well, I do my research, I do my facts, I educate myself. Been doing that for actually a couple years now as an environmental scientist. But again, having a degree or career does not mean that you are ultimately, you know everything, okay? So let's make that clear. We're doing the colonization, and obviously some of the time we might make mistakes, especially when, you know, you take accountability and you rectify yourself and make sure that you're giving the right information, okay? But a lot of y'all, if that's the case, make sure that you are, you know, fact checking yourself, not from online media, because most of the media and most of these apps, they're owned by these corporations. So anything that they say is fact checking is usually unfortunately, is the truth that they are fact checking, that they want to take away. So they're making excuses to remove content and stuff like that. Again, suppressing and silencing the truth tellers, content creators, seers, and psychic readers as well. Especially those who have decided to take the courage and bravery and have listened to Father God to expose what's going on politically as well, because tarot reading is connected to political movement and activism and advocacy. So that's why he's a little bit confused why anybody is just feeding into the beast of capitalism and distracting everybody with bullshit kakalaka that doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because most of divine masculine, divine feminine love readings, most of the real divine masculine are doing the work. They're decolonizing. They're staying away from the divine feminine so that they can do the work. So that's all you need to know. So constantly watching readings and putting readings that someone will come and someone's not, it's kind of like mental insanity. It's just repeating the same thing over and over, right? So that's why I only come into the energy when it's necessary, when God said, okay. But when it's time to do avocation, education, and educating my community and sharing the truth that is being not exposed in the media, it's not real journalism right now what's going on. Media is complicit with genocide, intensely. I have plenty of proof of what happened to Yemen last night. They're already trying to degrade the Yemenis. Blaming the victims. Right. Anyways, I talk about that in the podcast as well. If you want to check it out, make sure that you share it and like or do what you have to do to continue to boost it, okay? Also, I have, like I said, well, I'm going to say it on the other video, so let the other video run. All right. Hello. I hope you're doing well. I need you to do yourself a favor and everybody else a favor, okay? I need you to go to check out this report. It's 49 pages, okay? And this is absolutely true, okay? I'm going to talk about this on YouTube very soon. Working on it because my spirit guide are trying to let me know exactly what to post and what to put. There is another energy reading that I did a couple of days ago before this was posted. Yeah. Another thing I will put in the description below of that video, there's 2 petitions that I need you guys to make sure that you sign them, okay? This is for Canadians. If you're a citizen or permanent resident, awesome. If you're not, share it to other citizens, okay? This is 5300, E5300. Make sure if you can find it, just look it up. We have until, I think, April. Yeah, so we have until April 15, okay? And basically this is to validate what's going on. So officially recognize Israel war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza and the West Bank and Lebanon, okay? Immediately suspend the Canada-Israel strategic partnership and all trade relations with Israel and impose a strict embargo on military goods and technologies, both lethal and non-lethal. Impose severe sanction against Benjamin Netanyahu, Yoav Gallant, basically war criminals that are also in this ICCJ that needs to be Adam and Ben-Gvir, and work actively to bring them to justice. And definitely recognize the state of Palestine and the inevitable right of Palestinians to live on their land free in peace and security, as the 147 member states of the United Nations have already done. Yeah, please go sign this petition. It will be in the description below. I will highly appreciate it. Now, the other petition that we all should be really focusing on, because we don't want a Nazi motherfucker psycho, right? A demonic energy, right? So we have petition 85353. This is basically Elon Musk has engaged in activities that go against national interests of Canada. He has used his wealth and power to influence our elections. Well, we know Pierre Lebert and the other motherfuckers. Another thing is that we really need to do our research, because I don't know why, and I talk about this in the other energy reading, is this new prime minister here in Canada, why is he friendly, coherently with Arswell, whatever Einstein energy? I don't understand why we always are rooting for we are pedophiles. Like, I don't understand. So this is something that a lot of y'all do your research, because a lot of you, I feel like you don't do your research. And so all of you who say that you do your research, you only do your research when it's convenient for you, a little, for you, right? Anyways, a lot of you're giving benefit of the doubt. And I don't. because he's a banker, and a lot of you like he's a capitalist. He is a capitalist, and I don't trust colonizers. I really don't. So either he proves that he's anti-Zionist and pro-Palestinians, and make sure that this is happening, and the petition before, then I'll believe it. And he also roots for land back, and roots for indigenous community and black community and people of color. Until then, I don't believe any colonizers. So yeah. Anyways, the attempt of Hamas to attack Canadian sovereignty must be addressed. Yeah, that one. A lot of you don't want to get into politics and stuff like that, right? But when it's convenient to you. But you need to understand that everything is political. Everything. When you live in a state that supports white supremacy, colonial entity, imperialist, and abusive behavior, narcissist, psychotic, right? Genocidal maniacs and stuff like that, right? You need to care. Because a lot of you enjoy a lot of rights that you are okay now. Because of those things was fought so that you can have those rights. So right now, we need all that energy to get back in here. This guy needs to get his citizen rebuke. Like, done. So that's the petition. We understand the sign of citizens of Canada. Call upon the Prime Minister to revoke Elon Musk's dual citizenship status and revoke his Canadian passport effectively immediately. Yeah. Yes. This needs to be done because we shouldn't be... No. Like, literally. And a lot of you think that, oh, those who have cars, Tesla cars are all Nazi. I don't know about you, but you can have any other cards. Why that one? And no, come with me because as an environmental scientist, that shit is ship sailed long time ago. Especially the unethical things that those cars were made, Congolese. Please go fucking research. Congolese children have suffered a lot for you guys to have your Tesla fascist Nazi fucking cars. So yeah, I agree that everybody who's looting these cars, go at it. Go have fun at it. They should not exist. Unfortunately, they do. And a lot of kids and a lot of horrible things that happen to the Congolese for you guys to have for this asshole who did that, who is a demonic entity for real. Like they're diabolical and satanic, psychotic things that this motherfuckers have done. And you guys no, he should not. He should go back to South Africa and should be persecuted there. He was okay with apartheid. His family was okay with South Africa apartheid. And we're still no. This is why the lack of knowledge and lack of wisdom, this is why a lot of y'all, this is where this needs to be enforced. And not just in Canada, it should be everywhere in the world. Okay? Especially By the way, this is who I was talking about. Our new Prime Minister was very friendly, cuddly with this one. And this one. Okay. We're going to talk about this. Father God asked me to, let's just put it in perspective. He's applauded for genocide and still continue. He has starved. He has blocked humanitarian aid. He has closed electricity during Ramadan. The holiest month. Right? And then they arrested, literally, for protesting against genocide, against killing people, against butchering children, women, men, people with disabilities. His country, basically. Right? Because this guy is a colonizer. He's just, what? So when they say backwards, I believe so intensely, but this is what we need to be addressing. And this is why a lot of us need to be decolonizing, because we cannot allow this. This? No. Then we have this, our meta targeting these main influencers who literally have all the evidence. So this is something the Father God wants me to talk in a podcast as well, which I will. About the fact that they hold the evidence in their platforms. They have intense amount of work, 50 millions or millions of followers. They hold, that's it. This is the reason why they're suspending indefinitely, is because they are holding the evidence that they don't want people to see. They are holding the class consciousness and awakening of what's going on, the root of the cause in Palestine. But also, we cannot forget that also of the root of the cause, we have right under the Congo, right? Where without their Congos, cobalt and all that stuff, the bombs and weapons that they used to kill Palestinians, is we need to address that too. And then we also have Sudanese who also have been dealing with the UAE and Saudi Arabia, who are okay with, you know, what they're doing and taking gold and stuff like that. So everything is connected. Okay, so Father God said these attacks are going to have serious consequences. A lot of you don't know God. And this is another thing, a lot of you, Father God keeps saying, like, when you're educating people, you need to remember who God and Creator is, okay? These people have no power. It's a power to the people. They're going to get all their stuff back 10 times more, okay? Another thing. It was released. The list was released. But look what they want you to focus on. By the way, he's on that list. Our energy right now should be free Mahmoud Khalil. That's our energy right now. Because if they can go after him, they can go after you. Okay? So let's focus on that revolutionary energy and remember that God is the first revolutionary fighter over here. So let's not forget that. Okay? And he already won the battle. So a lot of you, that UN report, make sure that you're sharing it everywhere. And stop saying, oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to. Stop it. Because that means you're not in the revolutionary fight if you're talking like that. Like, what is this? Come on. Have a little faith and hope. And this, it's not going to get like that. Free Mahmoud Khalil. Free him.
So Donald Trump has just bombed Yemen. The president has ordered a series of airstrikes in Yemen's capital, promising the use of overwhelming lethal force unless the Houthis agree to stop their attacks on shipping in a vital maritime corridor. The airstrikes come just days after the Houthi leaders said that they would resume attacks on Israeli vessels sailing off of Yemen's coast in response to Israel's continued blockade on Gaza. To date, however, there have been no reported attacks by the Houthis against Israeli ships. A series of explosions were reported in Houthi territory on Saturday evening, and images have begun circulating of plumes of black smoke over the Sana'a airport complex, which holds a sprawling military facility. Now, Donald Trump said in a social media post, "No terrorist group will stop American commercial and naval vessels from freely sailing the waterways of the world." And a couple of quick points to that. The Houthis have, for one, had no reported attacks against any vessels since they made that announcement. Let me reiterate that. But also, it wasn't American naval vessels that were threatened. They were specifically Israeli. And in response to a blockade that you are supposed to be working on ending. And like, I know we're living in the United States of Israel at this point, but does Netanyahu have his hand up Trump's ass like a fucking puppet? This is also allegedly going to be the first of many airstrikes, and it has already targeted and killed civilians. The airstrike hit a residential neighborhood in Shoaib and killed 9 civilians and injured 9 others. The U.S. is openly following the Israeli playbook of collective punishment and is now targeting and killing civilians as a deterrent against the resistance group's opposition. And the international community will do fuck all to stop it. Just keep Yemen in your prayers right now.
Go ahead and get your calculator out and start boosting this video because everybody in America needs to see where our money just went. $3.3 billion for Israeli Defense Forces. $4 billion, now get your calculations out, for Israeli Iron Dome and David Sling missile defense system. All because they want to keep killing children and doing expansion, by the way. This is all unnecessary. Go ahead and add that up. That's $7.3 billion so far. There's another $1.2 billion for Israel Iron Beam defense system. That's $8.5 billion so far. $3.5 billion for advanced weapons systems to Israel. That's $12 billion so far. Another billion for Israel artillery and munitions development. That's $13 billion so far. $4.4 billion to replenish defense articles and services provided to Israel. That's $17.4 billion so far. $2.4 billion for U.S. military operations in the region in response, like we're bombing Yemen right now because there's currently a blockade and starving people in Gaza again, and they cut their electricity off, and they're calling it a ceasefire, but they're literally just trying to exterminate them. I mean, I'm not even keeping count. It's definitely about $20 billion at this point. All that for $13 billion in cuts to healthcare, education, public health, infrastructure, and environmental protection. Now you tell me, are you happy that all of your money is and more, by the way, because there's still even more going to bomb babies and your neighbors losing these things. I don't care who you voted for. This is egregious and disgusting. And you cannot claim to be a Christian and support stuff like this. I'm sorry. Bombing the children in the Holy Land is not going to make Jesus come back for people who believe that. And I just want to say that publicly with my platform because that's ridiculous. This is evil. This is straight up evil. And don't think I'm letting the Democrats off the hook. I know the Republicans. We already know that. I'm just showing y'all. This is why we're here in the first place, because they took money from these people and put them first instead of winning. Yep.
I just watched a video of people inside a mosque in Gaza with an Israeli drone outside the mosque firing at a communal iftar event, meaning people who are breaking their fast, who have not eaten or drank water all day, are inside the house of God, cowering and trying to find places to hide because they are not safe from human beings inside the house of God. People who are on their 12th or so day of not a single drop of water being able to come into their territory. And your government, Americans, is discussing putting sanctions on the United Nations Human Rights Council for doing their fucking job. And your government, people in the UK, are still allowing components for fighter jets to go to this Jewish supremacist, fundamentally genocidal state and society. Fuck you. And at the root of all of this is pure racism, is fundamentally racism. The world does not see Palestinians as human beings, bottom line. And if you knew nothing of Palestine 16 months ago and your entire worldview has not been disoriented and reshaped over the past 16 months, you are racist. You are racist, you are sexist, you are ableist, and you are a white supremacist piece of shit. I don't give a fuck what color your skin is. And fucking Piers Morgan and all these other grifters are still milking conversations off of this. You're racist. You're racist. That's all it comes down to. You do not see Palestinians, Arabs, Muslims as human beings. And every person of conscience should remind you at every opportunity that you're a fucking racist piece of shit.
Fear is natural. Do you know what truly terrifies me? The lack of humanity these days. I fear many things, but nothing scares me more than people who don't empathize with Palestinians. Seeing what these people have been going through, and you still find a reason to justify what we've been seeing for the past many months. The thought of just knowing that we still live with those kinds of people who have seen cities of Palestinians people being turned into dust, have seen videos of kids being shredded by bullets, bombs, have seen kids who have been dying from hunger, bodies being thrown and wrapped in bags. We've been seeing everything like that for the past year. Yet there is someone, many people actually, who still feel comfortable enough coming here on social media to justify it. We live with those people. That scares me. I swear that scares me, knowing that we still live with those people. There is no reason that can justify thousands of kids who have been dying for the past year. Nothing. There is nothing that can justify the women who have been dying in Palestine. There is nothing that can justify the innocent lives of men who we lost in Palestine. And the scary part is, you don't empathize with them. When you've seen videos of what they went through, imagine seeing videos like that and still go above and be like, they deserve it. What kind of human can you be? What kind of human have we become? I'm from Congo. My story is also similar. When you make a video saying that somebody was butchered and eaten Yet on the comment section, you still see people who come up and say you're lying when there is a video that can prove that. And it's not actually the only person. People who have been butchered and eaten on a daylight, and the videos of them were published. Imagine how comfortable people have become on doing stuff like that. Murdering people, record it, put it on the internet. Do you understand the level of evil and comfortable doing massacres we are? Where you are free to do whatever you want and you don't expect any consequence for what you did. How can you see cities being turned into rubble? The village where I grew up, me, myself here, was a village built in woods, mud, and grass on top. I know many people have seen villages like that in Africa. Yet when it was destroyed in 2017, I was devastated. Really, I couldn't sleep that night because that village had a lot of memories for me. I knew that a lot of things were destroyed there. Even when I come back, that will still break my heart, and it is still breaking my heart until today. So imagine what the Palestinian people have been going through. Seeing the whole city, where you grew up, the schools, the hospitals, the buildings, anything really, have been turned into the rubble. Yet someone here still come up here and justify it. Seeing things like that really, nowadays, scares me. And sometimes I wish I wasn't from this world. How can people be this evil to the point where you are not able to help? You are not able to comfort the people who have lost so much? But you are here on the internet bragging about what happened to them, justifying it, knowing that we live with those people. We go to school with those people. We go to the same market. Maybe we even live with them in the houses. That really scares me. The lack of humanity.
Israel is back to airstriking Gaza, and it's also been a little bit over 2 weeks since Israel allowed any food or materials into Gaza. 14 people have been killed over the past 2 days in Gaza, and that's not it. The US bombed Yemen, and at least 31 people have been killed. The US is saying that this is in retaliation to the Yemenis saying that they are going to continue blocking the Israeli ships at the Red Sea. So Israel can blockade Gaza for this entire time, but then when Yemen tries to take a stand for us by blocking the Red Sea, the US goes and bombs the Yemenis. No one is stopping Israel from doing what it does to us.
I hate Gal Gadot. She's playing the evil queen in the new Snow White movie, and she's actually evil in real life. And as always, I have my notes because this movie is a fucking mess and it's gonna flop. Part of me feels bad about my Latina sister Rachel Zegler being in this flop movie and playing Snow White, but also part of me is like, yeah, because anytime Gal Gadot has a downfall, I rise above. Now, I've had beef with Rachel Zegler ever since she said, like, who cares if I don't eat the food or speak the language or do the dances? I'm still Latina. I'm like, all right, girl, all right. Anyways. But the girl can sing, right? And I'm gonna tag 2 creators, right? One creator that was talking about the dwarfism issues in the movie, and then the other one that was talking about like conservatives, which kind of inspired me to make this video. So I'm gonna tag them both, right? Conservatives are mad that Rachel Zegler is a Latina and she's playing Snow White. Mind you, Rachel Zegler is like half German, and I'm pretty sure Snow White was like of German descent or something like that. Y'all are just mad that she's not like pale white, right? And I get it, you know, Snow White, skin as white as snow, the fairest of them all. That never sat right with me anyways. The fairest of them all being the prettiest. I don't care. I don't care for Latinas playing Snow White. So sue me. I don't care. Conservatives didn't want to watch it because of that. But also they said they didn't want to watch Air Little Mermaid, and Halle still made her money. So I don't really fucking care. Also, they said that they don't want to watch it because Rachel Zegler's too feminist. Now, do I agree with Rachel Zegler saying like, oh, the princess is going to save her? No, because it's part of the movie. But at the end of the day, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't care. But am I mad that like Rachel Zegler is a feminist and she wants the movie to be more feminist? No, because I'm not fucking weird. Let's get into Gal Gadot. This woman is actually evil. She served in the IDF, and you could say like, oh, she was never in combat. I don't care. I don't care if she served fucking porridge to the Israeli soldiers. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. She's also a journalist and has spoken pro ADL and like propaganda like that. So again, I don't care for this woman, right? She also cannot fucking act. Oh my God.
I need you to give me the stone.
Do you know who should have played the evil queen?
I've come to give you a gift.
Lana Parrilla. If you don't know who Lana Parrilla is, she's the woman who played the evil queen in Once Upon a Time. They should have made the conservatives mad and made both of them Latina. Do you think I could give a fuck? No. Ooh, that movie would have been so good. That would have been so good, right? And also Disney in general is being boycotted because of their whole like involvement in Israel and Palestine. But I'm just like, you thought Gal Gadot was gonna help y'all out? Okay. Also, when you see Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot together in a space, it is so fucking clear they don't like each other. Oh my God, oh my God. But it's more so clear. I feel like Gal Gadot is trying to act unbothered, blah, blah, blah. Everything bothers that crazy lady, right? But you could tell Rachel Zegler hates her guts. Oh my God. And I think even there was one time, I have it written down in my notes, when Rachel Zegler thanked, you know, fans for like giving the trailer like 100, I think it was like 120 million views. Yeah, in 24 hours, she literally replied and was like, and as always, free Palestine. And I'm like, yeah, sister, I knew I liked you. I know I liked you, right? Also, let's not forget that Rachel Zegler can dance, she can sing, and she can act. The only thing Gal Gadot is good for is Israeli propaganda. Oh my God, I don't know where that came from. But yeah, at this point, Disney has scaled back the premiere. Oh, the dwarfism issues. There was also some like issues with like the dwarfism portrayal in the movie. I'm gonna tag a creator who talked about it because they're better to talk about it than I am, right? So in conclusion, I don't fucking like Gal Gadot. I've never liked her. She sucked in Wonder Woman. She sucked in like, I don't know, another movie. I don't watch Gal Gadot movies, so there's that, right? She also sucked in that one movie with The Rock, that like little comedy movie. I watched that because I forgot that she was in it, and it was just like, it was just bad. And the anti-Rachel Zegler propaganda never worked on me. Now, when Latinos were pissed at her because she was acting very gringa-ish, you know, she was getting her lashings, which, you know, deserved for that. But all the conservatives and the Zionists mad that Rachel Zegler being in this movie, I would have watched it if Gal Gadot wasn't in it. So Rachel, I'm sorry, sister. So Rachel, sister, I won't be watching the movie, but just know, I got your back, sister. The propaganda against you will never work on me. Now, Gal Gadot, someone could say that you saved 1,000 babies, and I'm gonna be like, I still don't fucking like her.
نحن في غزة لسنا عناوين تقرأ، نحن أرواح تحاصر، وأصوات تقمع، وحكايات تحذف، لأن الحقيقة مؤلمة لمن لا يريد سماعها. الإعلام الغربي يصنع روايته، ولكن هنا على الأرض روايات أخرى. رواية أمهات يحتضن أسماء أطفالهم بدلا من أجسادهم، وأطباء يودعون مرضاهم لأنه لا دواء ولا علاج ولا كهرباء ولا أدنى مقومات ومستلزمات الطبية متوفرة لديهم. هذه ليست مجرد حرب، هذه إبادة على الهواء مباشرة، والعالم صامت أو متواطئ، ولكننا باقون هنا، نحمل الحقيقة وإن حذفت، نكتبها وإن منعنا، ننقلها وإن كانت أرواحنا هي الثمن. شاركوا هذا الفيديو حتى يصل إلى العالم. اليوم الصمت أصبح جريمة.
Fascism, communism, same thing. Both extreme, both dictatorship. Eventually, they meet up in the same place. Yeah, and if I keep swimming deeper into the ocean, I'll eventually end up in the sky. That's not how direction or politics work. No, I mean, if you go too far right or too far left, you get authoritarianism. So one side fights for workers to own the means of production. The other fights for corporations to own everything. And you think they are the same? That's some flat earth level reasoning. Well, Hitler's party had socialist in its name. That proves he was a leftist. Right, and a seahorse must be a horse because horse is in the name. My brother in Christ, a hot dog isn't a dog, a pineapple isn't an apple, and the National Socialist German Workers' Party wasn't socialist. But they call themselves socialists. Yeah, and Donald Trump called himself honest, but the guy's a rapist, a fraud, and a thief. Words are cheap, actions matter. The first thing Nazis actually did when they took power, they banned communist and socialist parties. First prisoners sent to concentration camps, communists, trade unionists, and socialists. They outlawed socialist organizations and brutally suppressed left-wing opposition. So I don't know what the hell are you talking about. But what about the economy? Didn't the Nazis implement socialist policies? Only if by socialist you mean giving corporations unlimited power, crushing unions, and forcing workers into military production. That's capitalism on steroids. Nazi economy was pro-corporate, built on forced war production and designed to enrich the capitalist elite. That's why they were backed by massive corporations like IG Farben, Volkswagen, and BMW. Okay, but still, fascism and communism are both extremes. If you go too far in either direction, you get authoritarianism. Yeah, and if you drink too much water, you die of dehydration, right? No, wait, this is stupid. Just like the horseshoe theory. Fascism is capitalism's final form. It crushes workers' rights, concentrates wealth at the top, and props up billionaires. Communism seeks to abolish capitalism, takes the power away from billionaires and guarantee access to wealth and resources for everyone. Guess which one capitalists will support? Damn, I never really thought about it that way. Well, good luck, comrade.
Unlimited. Unlimited. Something about Wicked. Unlimited. Something about that song. I think this is because Father God wants you to remind yourself that you're unlimited. That don't limit yourself, don't limit God, don't put him in a box, don't put yourself in a box, okay? Also that I have good news that I'm gonna show you next, but you know, make sure that this is something that is work that also we need to address and need to continue working on, okay? But just know that a lot of us are taking a stand and I'm asking you, the more we are, the majority we are, the better. So don't assume that what I'm about to show you, that that's just it. Oh, they're doing the work, right? Because you could be one of those people, right? That you were in school, that you're in a group setting, you're in a teamwork, and you allow other people who do most of the work, and then you take credit for it. Is that it? It doesn't work on this, in this energy. The new earth, the new system that Father God is building is going to be equal. So there's receipts. So when you don't stand up for people, there's receipts. Okay? So if you feel called to, because it's never too late. I don't believe that energy, like, you know, and a lot of you, I know you understand that Democrats failed you. Liberals, okay, for here in Canada. But we'll see. We'll go, a lot of you giving benefit of the doubt. I don't know. There's hope for some liberals. I don't know. A lot of them, it's more like a front. It's kind of like Democrats. They're pretending that they're from the opposite, but at the end of the day, it's not about left and right or blue or red. It's not so better about that. It's about up, down, right? Don't forget about that. Those people are just here to, I don't know, they're cup holders, right? For the real situation that, you know, it shows that if they're willing to change systems and make sure that a lot of the necessities is free, that's another thing that I'm going to show you. There's a video that talks about that. Basically, all these videos Father God has been telling me to share today. So make sure you like, comment, share, please. And if you feel called to, go to their handles of those own content creators, go like their videos, go share it on your stories or share it on your own platforms, okay? Educate your communities as you're educating yourself. It's basically we pass the positive energy, the truth, the knowledge, and then you pass it on. That's the way, okay? Not fake ass propaganda, because that's not what I do here. I just want to make that clear. This is discern intensely energy, okay? And I have to take maybe multiple days or a couple days to do this. But right now, because of the beautiful fasting energy, which if you notice, I'm losing my voice because I am in doing that fasting. But not that I'm saying that should be, you know, it's just that I'm in solidarity with my Muslim community, with everybody who is struggling right now, is oppressed, okay? So it's not just for Palestine, Sudan, and Congo and everybody else. It's also for those who are dealing with injustices and oppression, especially the trans community, the LGBTQ community, immigrants right now. This is really happening. And a lot of us, we need to, there's a video that talks about that explains it better. I feel like he does a really well job for that. And this is why God wanted them to share, so I don't have to speak as much and just focus on the energy, because this takes a lot of energy to tap in. Okay, so after this video, I will tap in. So if you want to join, you can stay. But these videos, make sure you share and like and put it out there if you possible, or share this entire video and it will have a full of knowledge for all your community. Isn't that great? I love Father God so much, don't you?
Stocks connected to Donald Trump and Elon Musk completely collapsed today.
Elon is panicking currently because the Tesla boycotts are working and they actually do have the potential to bankrupt him, but it's actually so much better than that. Because if you listen and do what I'm about to tell you, please, for the love of God, we could potentially bankrupt Elon Musk, ruin the right's plan A to take over everywhere, win the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, which they're currently trying to meddle in, and also maybe as a treat, make Twitter great again, free Twitter. So hear me out. Elon Musk's entire net worth relies on his ecosystem of companies. But everyone knows if you're a shareholder in one of his companies, you're now entangled in business with all of them. Why is that? Because as we know, billionaires don't actually have billions of dollars. It's the valuation of their companies, and how they keep acquiring companies is they keep taking out loans and borrowing more money based off of the value of the other companies they have and their ability to be able to someday pay those back. If you do enough digging, you'll find that Elon Musk has a bunch of different mortgages and loans that he's taken out. And what is he using to back these loans and promise the banks that he can someday pay back all of this money? It's hard to say on record for many of them, but we can guess, because when he took out loans to acquire Twitter, he used more than half of his Tesla shares at the value that they were as collateral for that. For that one, he even dipped into SpaceX a little bit. So the banks give him loans under the promise that his stocks are a certain price and he could pay them back. But when his stocks start to drop and they're no longer holding up their end of the bargain, he starts to panic because you don't want to default, or whatever the term is, and have to file for bankruptcy because you can't pay back those loans, which would put all of his businesses at risk as well. But why is the White House now panicking and having the president essentially do car commercials on the front lawn? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because this is where we come into play. The Supreme Court race is coming up here on April 1st in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is often seen as a test state for the rest of the United States because it's pretty evenly split down the middle, red and blue. But Elon has been pouring millions of dollars into essentially kind of trying to buy the seat through ad campaigns. Another issue, there's a lot of extreme things that are at risk here in Wisconsin, and it's supposed to be more of a bipartisan seat, but the two options are Susan Crawford, who's pretty bipartisan but a little bit left-leaning, and Brad Schimmel, who is wildly right-wing. You can guess which one Elon is pushing for, but overall, this is sort of like a test to see if the right can just have Elon continually pour money into buying seats across the nation. Two things need to be done here. First, you need to get the word out in Wisconsin to show up on April 1st and let them know that you can't just do this. The rest of us all need to keep doing this right here. Because obviously it's working, and they're panicked that their plan A is about to go straight out the window.
Another healthcare CEO has been shot at, and no one's covering it. You know why? Because they're fucking scared. And they're not scared of the bullets. I mean, a CEO's replaceable. They're scared of our reaction. You need to remember, it wasn't the fact that Luigi shot someone that got Anthem to change their policy. It was the fact that everyone fucking liked it. Because if the whole public condemned and attacked it, the state has nothing to fear. They have the people doing their job for them. But if the people are not willing to oppress themselves, if they're not willing to condemn and attack people like this, who are going after the people committing violence against the working class, then the state has a problem. And that's the point of state-enforced violence. And also, that's the point of the media. To ignore things that could lead to reactions that are scary to the ruling class. So this is maybe a copycat. We don't know enough right now. But what is important is not what the person actually did. What matters is that they are not covering this because they know we have power. And damn right we do.
Have you heard of Project Esther? It's a so-called plan against anti-Semitism by the Heritage Foundation. The same people who brought you Project 2025, the plan for Trump's second administration. But Project Esther's approach to anti-Semitism won't protect Jews. In fact, it'll do the opposite. The plan starts by targeting domestic organizations that support Palestinian rights, like Students for Justice in Palestine, Jewish Voice for Peace, and American Muslims for Palestine. These groups advocate for Palestinian rights and challenging oppression. Project Esther wrongly labels them as part of a terrorist support network, and then uses that framing to justify extreme actions, criminal prosecutions, deportations, and revoking tax-exempt status. It accuses them of being not just anti-Israel, but anti-Semitic and anti-American. Here's the truth. This plan isn't about protecting Jews. Project Esther ignores actual anti-Semitic violence from far-right and other groups and focuses on silencing voices for Palestinian rights. It's McCarthyism, dressed up as combating anti-Semitism. The plan's already started rolling out. In January, the administration passed an executive order revoking visas and deporting students accused of anti-Semitism on college campuses, using a definition of anti-Semitism that includes criticism of the State of Israel. We are witnessing a terrifying escalation in the administration's attack on its political opponents under the guise of fighting anti-Semitism. Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia student abducted from his home, is their first target. But this didn't come out of nowhere. It's been spelled out in Project Esther. As we advocate against Trump's mass deportation of immigrants, we must include these students and Palestinian rights organizations in our protection.
What is so intimidating about a black man with a gun saying that I'm not going to allow a terrorist to harm my family?
These aren't police officers or soldiers.
They're business owners, their fathers, their sons, daughters.
These are civilians, members of the Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch Program.
It's a duty. Okay, let's go.
The duty, protecting their neighborhood, the majority black village of Lincoln Heights, Ohio. After neo-Nazis held a rally here last month, carrying rifles, waving swastikas, and hurling racial slurs, just moments before children were let out of school. At the time, law enforcement officials said the neo-Nazis did not break any laws, but an investigation by county prosecutors is ongoing. Weeks later, the KKK came with these flyers. Every day, the Safety and Watch group escorts children to school and patrols the streets.
Why do you all wear masks?
Those Nazis, we have reports of them finding our backgrounds, so we're not hiding ourselves from the residents, but we're protecting our family from what we're doing out here.
Are you worried at all that having a potentially armed response could just create more friction, create more danger?
I'll answer that by saying I've never felt safer as a black man.
Saw a news story earlier this week talking about a teacher that was asked to take a sign in her classroom down that read, "Everyone is welcome here." Because according to her school administrators, given the political environment that we're in the year 2025 here in America, that sign might cause problems for them.
My building administration came to me during my lunch period and told me that they needed to be taken down by the end of the day. They told me that they were in violation of district policy because in today's political environment, they're considered a personal opinion.
In this political environment, that is not acceptable.
Yeah, I was told a couple things, that everyone is welcome here is not something that everybody believes. So that's what makes it a personal opinion.
You were told this, that not everybody believes everyone is welcome.
Right.
Now, as some of y'all may know, I've worked in schools and in the education space pretty much my entire adult life. And I've seen firsthand how schools, administrators, and teachers can sometimes shy away from things that might be deemed political or controversial or offensive to this person or that person. I remember one year when I was teaching middle school, it was Hispanic Heritage Month, and I had a colleague of mine, a passionate teacher who loved her job, loved her students, and I asked her what she was going to be doing in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. And she told me that she didn't really want to talk about it because she didn't feel comfortable. She felt like she might say something wrong and that she'd get into trouble. And I would hear this story over and over when it came to things like Black Lives Matter or immigration under Trump's first presidency, LGBTQ issues, when COVID hit, anytime there was a school shooting, when January 6th happened. I would ask my colleagues, what are you telling your kids about this? Because you know they're talking about it. And my colleagues would always say, I ain't touching it. There are too many educators out there that are afraid of saying the wrong thing. And because of that, our kids rarely get to dig into these kind of conversations around topics and issues that matter to them. But all those controversial or political issues aside, I want us to take a minute to appreciate just how bad things have gotten. When a teacher can't even have a sign that says everyone is welcome here, because in the post-Trump era, someone somewhere might take issue with that sentiment. Now more than ever, we need educators that are willing to be brave and speak truth to power. And we need students and families to support those teachers that might be targeted for speaking truth to power. And on top of that, we need to build spaces outside of the traditional school system where we can educate our children and each other and instill the values that we want to see in our society and talk about the things that truly matter. But let me know in the comments what you think. And if you're an educator, I especially want to hear from you. Did you ever run into any issues like this at your school? And how did you handle it? If you want to learn more about how we can give our kids the kind of critical education that they deserve, you can check out our pre-recorded workshop called Teach Them Young, where we talk all about that. The link to check that out is right here. We'll also be launching a live series in April called Seeds of Liberation, where we'll be doing a deep dive into this topic. If you want to learn more, the link to register for that is right here. And if you like my content and you want to help support, you can make a donation via Venmo right here, or you can become a monthly supporter on Patreon, and that's right here. That's it for me. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
lot of you have spent your entire lives thinking that you don't have to help people. A lot of you have also been spending your entire lives walking around aimlessly with no life path and no direction. I'm asking you if you can see a correlation between those two things. The reason why you feel like your life isn't going anywhere is because you refuse to sacrifice just a modicum of your comfort to help another person. Going out of your way to spend your time or your resources or your money to help another person is going to feel extremely unnatural and maybe even illegal. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to be having second thoughts about what if this person is taking advantage of you, what if they don't actually mean it. But I need you to understand that this is a conditioned reaction, okay? If we don't help each other, we die. That's it. The government will not help us. We have to help each other if we want to survive. Capitalism has told you that the only skills that are worth having are skills that you can commodify. That's bullshit. Actually, scratch that. It's not bullshit. It's prison. They have chained you with invisible chains. They have drawn an imaginary boundary around you that you refuse to step outside of because you don't think that you can. You're so afraid of what will happen to you if you help another person. You can't stand the uncertainty. You can't stand the not knowing. I'm more than happy to spoil that surprise for you and just let you know that once you put yourself on the line to help another person, everything starts to make sense. You start to realize that there's a reason why we're all here. And it is to help one another. And receiving sincere gratitude in exchange for helping someone is truly all that I can ask for. It's all that I should have to ask for. I don't give a fuck about money. I just want everybody to be housed. I don't give a fuck about a brand deal. I want everybody to have food to eat. The current structures that are in place run specifically on the fact that certain people will not have housing and certain people will not have food. Because the people who are on that very bottom tier are meant to scare the rest of us cogs into clocking into work. And we shouldn't help people who are less fortunate than us because what if they spend the money on drugs, knowing full well we're going to the fucking dispensary tonight? So much about these conditions are quite literally meant to distract us from what our purpose as humans is. You are here to help others. If you are not helping others, you have no purpose. There's no going back and forth on this. Anyone who doesn't want to help other people is someone that you need to stay away from. I don't care how many books you've read. How many people have you taught to read? You're going to protest after protest after protest. How many people at those protests are you feeding? Capitalists start tap dancing when we don't think that there is abundance all around us. Everything that you need, quite literally, is within you right now. And it is imperative that you ask yourself how you're going to use your blessings to help others now.
I just need one precedented thing. I need 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day of precedented events. Please! Because what do you mean folks could barely read before? The literacy rate in this country is quickly dropping. And they're laying off 50% of the Department of Education? And then we got a bunch of people in Congress that is literally just holding up stupid black circles to stop fashion. And if you want a perfect example of what the Democrats are going to do to help you, to save you, look no further than the Democratic mayor of DC, Muriel Bowser, who literally was not even forced to do anything and decided to tear up this very symbolic, very ceremonious Black Lives Matter Plaza. For why? Because she was scared. I cannot say it enough. When I say y'all need to get into your local communities and organize, I really mean that. And what I mean by that is find a local organization, a DSA, a Young Democrats, a Green Party, a Communist. Find somewhere that is political and go meet those people. Start talking to the people that live in your building, on your streets, about collecting money, collecting funds, collecting resources, so that way we can make it possible to do work stoppage. Start setting up childcare plans with your neighbors. Start setting up ways that you're going to take care of your disabled neighbors and move them if they need to be moved. Start taking the boycotts seriously. Please! Because I will tell y'all this until I'm blue in the face. There is no organizers. There is no movement. There is nothing without everyday, regular people disrupting business as usual. You don't need to be a fucking revolutionary to be a part of the movement. You don't need to have perfect politics. You don't need to have a perfect fucking solution to what is going on. You don't need any of that. We just need each other, because it is clear that the billionaires and the people that quote unquote represent us have made a conscious decision to sacrifice our humanity, our families, our neighborhoods, our planet for short-term profit. And they are willing to use authoritarianism and fascism and violence in order to make it happen.
Elon Musk was worth almost $400 billion in December. Now, he's lost over $140 billion so far. He has actually broken the Guinness World Record for most amount of wealth lost. He has lost over half of his net worth. Oh my gosh, this is so hilarious. And now we know why he's been acting so manic lately. Like that's basically what this boils down to. This just boils down to full-blown mania, that what he's got going on right now. Because if he keeps losing his money in Tesla stock, that Tesla stock, that's where most of his net worth is tied up in. It's tied up in Tesla, and he has a little bit in SpaceX and other things. And he leveraged his valuation of Tesla stock as collateral to buy Twitter. And if we don't know the details of what the loan terms were for how he bought Twitter, but he bought Twitter using Tesla stock. And if Tesla stock keeps falling like that, keeps falling the way it is, he will lose Twitter. He will go bankrupt. Like, he is about to go bankrupt. That's why you saw him crashing out. That's why you see him crashing out, crying, losing his mind, because those bills are going to come due. Those bills are coming up due soon. And he knows it. He knows he's on a deadline. Not only that, the boycott is working. It's gotten so bad that he had to use the President of the United States to try to sell more Teslas to hopefully kind of bump up his Tesla stock, which it did a little bit, but then it came crashing back down. Yeah, and it's going down even further and harder. And all we got to do is just keep doing what we've been doing. It's not so much a boycott in and of itself. It's just that the cars themselves are not that good. Like, we have a friend of ours who had a Tesla, or who has one, regretting their purchase, by the way. And the build quality is just not that great. It's not. Like, they're just not that good of a car. Like there's so many other options these days as far as electric vehicles goes, and they're so far above Tesla. But that's besides the point. The point is that we've all said that had he just kept his mouth shut, not tried to meddle in what he's been trying to meddle in, he would have been fine. He would have still had his billions. But no, he bought himself the presidency, and he financially is backing the current administration because he believed that by doing all the things that he's doing, by trying to stop, certain investigations that are going on into his companies in both SpaceX, Tesla, so on and so on. He's trying to go after people that are investigating him so he can continue to try to generate more profits, so they'll stop, that they won't shut him down, or whatever it is, whatever the investigations would result in. Regardless, he went after the people that were investigating him, thinking that was going to improve his stock. And clearly that is not working out. Clearly it is not panning out, and he is freaking out. But I digress. The point is so incredibly hilarious that he literally is in the Guinness Book of World Records. And congratulations, Elon. You did it.
I remember when Elon bought Twitter, and I discovered while he was attempting to buy Twitter that he didn't have the money to buy Twitter, and so he leveraged his Tesla shares in order to buy Twitter. And now those same Tesla shares are tanking. And if those shares continue to tank, then he won't be able to back the loan that he used to buy Twitter. Now, there's a part of me that wants to see the bank roll up and like put Twitter on the back of a repo truck. But also, this is the reason why Donald Trump got out there and did a Tesla commercial. Because Donald Trump was bankrolled into the presidency by Elon Musk. Donald Trump has been able to utilize having access to a social network like Twitter through Elon Musk. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are intrinsically tied to each other financially. Now, the problem is, Elon cannot convince Donald to stop with the tariffs because the tariffs are the thing that is tanking the economy. The stock market is responding to the tariff and trade wars that we're in. But instead of helping, he's vandalizing a Tesla dealership domestic terrorism and doing Tesla commercials. Because if Tesla fails, so does the financial backing of the Trump administration. And so, the reason why they won't give up on each other, the reason why they will continue to fight for each other, is because if one of them falls, so do both of them. So I'll be honest, I'm hoping to see Tesla shares continue to tank, because when Tesla tanks and Twitter tanks, then so does Trump. I don't care if it's Tesla, Twitter, or Trump. Lakers in 5. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
The car was left in shambles with shattered windows, massive punctures, and tons of anti-Elon Musk graffiti.
The Trump administration is dropping massive bombs on the capital of Yemen. As we are gathered here and as we speak, the Trump administration is allowing a 2-week-long total siege of Gaza. No electricity, no water, no food, no medicine, allowing babies to die and allowing the Israeli regime to kill and assassinate during a so-called ceasefire. And as we speak, the Trump administration continues to hold Mahmoud Khalil hostage in a detention center in Louisiana. Trump has already failed because we have been in the streets every single day since he took Mahmoud from his home. The witch hunt that the Trump administration is trying to carry out is backfiring. We will be in the streets as long as it takes to take ICE off all of our campuses. And we will be in the streets as long as it takes to free Palestine.
And you know, these university presidents, I've never understood, how do they not think of their legacy? How are they going to be remembered? They're going to be remembered like the university presidents who supported the apartheid in South Africa and then supported the war in Vietnam. I mean, is that how you want to be remembered? Is that the legacy you want? And I always say this, our kids, our grandkids, are going to ask all of us, where did you stand and what did you do? On the issue of Palestine in general, but in particular since October 7th. What did you do to stop it? Did you stand up? And what are they going to say? Well, you know, I was making so much money that I couldn't afford to say it because I wanted to make all these millions. What are they going to say to their children, their grandchildren? And these students are going to be remembered as the heroes of the struggle. There's no question about that. But in the end, they always get fired anyway. It's like politicians that are afraid to speak up for Palestine and they lose anyway. They're hated anyway. They're targeted by the Zionists anyway. So stand up and speak up, and at least demonstrate that you have a spine, that you have principles, that you have a moral compass. Palestine is the compass today. Palestine is the compass. Everything is measured by where you stand on Palestine, and Palestinians are demonstrating, you know, the dignity and the courage that is beyond belief. You know, that we're all just so inspired by.
You've probably heard this phrase in the last few years. Whatever you're doing today is what you would have been doing in the 1930s, specifically in the lead up to World War II and rising fascism across Europe. And I think people are generally resistant to that sentiment because they genuinely think that things can't possibly get that bad again. And I think that's wrong for two reasons. One, you shouldn't wait for things to get that bad before doing something about it. Two, I think people are limiting themselves by only envisioning a World War II era Germany kind of bad. But I think what people are failing to consider is that 21st century American fascism will have completely different characteristics than 1930s German fascism. Like, they may not cart millions of people from marginalized groups off to camps, but they have already eliminated due process for undocumented folks and are already sending them to Guantanamo Bay. They may not set up explicit forced labor systems, but they are already ramping up the criminalization of homeless folks, a lot of whom will end up in the for-profit prison system where they will be leased out in a modern-day form of slavery. There may not be an SS-style secret police who carry out extrajudicial unalivings in the streets, but far-right extremist groups will feel emboldened to carry out political violence against the queer and trans community with tacit approval from the state. They may not put dissident journalists in jail, but billionaire oligarchs already control our media platforms, ensuring that oppositional journalism will be heavily censored. And the US government may not carry out a genocide on US soil, but it is already carrying out a genocide in Gaza. That's why Mark Twain said, "History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes." So please, don't wait to take action. Don't assume it can't happen here. It already is.
Let's clear some things up. The Jewish education that I received was a Zionist Jewish education. For 9 years of my childhood, I spent several hours a day learning how to speak Hebrew, learning about Jewish culture, but also learning about Israel, our history, and Zionism. I did not know that Palestinians existed until I joined my Hillel on my college campus, and they were telling me that there were these groups of Palestinians on campus who were a threat to Judaism. This threat that was posed was literally just people coming in and protesting the occupation. Every time that a Zionist tries to tell me that I'm uneducated, I just kind of laugh, because if it weren't for the last 5 years, I would be regarded as one of the most educated Zionists of that community. I have that lifetime of fear instilled in me. I still have that intergenerational trauma that is driving so many of y'all to commit atrocious acts. The difference between you and I is the fact that I have spent the last 5 years unpacking that trauma, understanding the full context of the history, understanding systems of oppression, and recognizing that this cycle that Israel has created is never going to lead to Jewish safety. And it's clear to me that anyone who is comfortable making comments such as Palestinian Jews were embraced by the Zionist settlers, no problems, and brushing over any sort of racial tensions that absolutely existed between the Mizrahi Jews and the Ashkenazi Jews, it tells me you have no deeper contextual understanding of the way the world works. Why don't you have that understanding? Because you've never needed that understanding in order to survive. Trust me, I get all of the Zionist arguments. I used to believe them. But just because I understand them doesn't mean that they're valid. Zionist beliefs, even under the guise of the best intentions, are extremely harmful because y'all are freaking out about October 7th and not paying attention to the fact that October 7th was a result of years and years and years enduring Zionist violence.
We don't need protests, riots, or politicians to take back control. We just need to stop playing their game. And I'm going to call this a silent riot.
stick with me. The United States is a huge piece of land, and we are not in close proximity like other countries. It's much easier when your country is small because you can all gather together in one place. So what do we do to make a powerful statement against our current administration? The system is built on one thing: our money. The government needs our taxes, banks need our deposits, corporations need us swiping our cards and taking out loans. So what happens if we just stop? History shows that this definitely works. Gandhi's boycott of British goods helped free India. The civil rights movement shut down segregation with the bus boycott. And the world crushed apartheid in South Africa by pulling financial support. So here is how we do it. We withdraw our money from the banks. Don't let them use this to fund their system. Go cash only. Stop feeding their credit industry. Boycott corrupt corporations. Shop local. Buy from people, not billionaires. Minimize taxes legally, or don't pay your taxes at all. Keep your money out of the government for now. Build alternative networks, trade, barter, and support small businesses. They want us to believe we have no power, but the truth, we are the power, and our money is the power. We work, and we work hard. We are in control, and they don't want us to believe that. They want us to believe that they are in control. Without us, the system collapses, but we have to do it together. This is the most important part. So we have to gather as a collective of Americans that are against what we are seeing. And this is how we rise. This is how we riot. A silent riot without violence. I get that this is an insane idea. And it really takes a lot of trust because it's uncomfortable. And we don't want to lose out on hurting our credit scores and all of those things. I get it. But I'm telling you, if we can all come together, this would work. This would work. So if you're ready to take back some control, give me a follow. Like this video, comment Silent Riot in the comments, and save this video and repost it. Tag 3 people who need to hear this information. We can do this. It's one step at a time. I will be back with step number 1. Because now is the time.
You think fascism was anti-capitalist? Tell that to the billionaires who funded fascist regimes in Germany, Italy, Spain, and Chile, because here's the reality. Fascism isn't against capitalism. It's capitalism in its most extreme form. This is part 3 of my 5-part series debunking the horseshoe theory, and in this video I'll bring sources and proof of how fascism was always massively funded by billionaires and big corporations. If you haven't checked the other 2 videos, go check it out. Historian Robert Paxton in The Anatomy of Fascism describes fascism as a system that mobilizes nationalistic sentiments to serve capitalist elites while crushing socialist opposition. And that's exactly what happened in Hitler's Germany, Mussolini's Italy, Francoist Spain, and Pinochet's Chile. Starting with Hitler's Germany, Neil Gregor in Daimler-Benz in the Third Reich extensively details Volkswagen's origins as a Nazi project, its production of military vehicles, and the use of forced labor from prisoners in concentration camps. Peter Hayes in Industry and Ideology, IG Farben in the Nazi Era, meticulously documents IG Farben's role in supplying the Zyklon B gas, which was the gas used in the gas chamber, and its use of slave labor from Auschwitz and other concentration camps. In Mussolini's Italy, big corporations thrived under fascism. J.J.T. Sweet in Iron Arm, the mechanization of Mussolini's army 1920 to 1940, shows how Fiat was instrumental in mechanizing Mussolini's army and how the regime directed state resources into Fiat to expand tank and vehicle production. Gagliardi, in his chapter The Entrepreneurial Bourgeoisie and Fascism in the book In the Society of Fascists, details Alberto Pirelli's meeting with Mussolini and his involvement in industrial financial collaboration that helped consolidate the fascist economy. In Francoist Spain, fascism was directly connected to big corporations' control. Paul Preston in the Spanish Holocaust details how Banco Santander financially supported Franco during the Spanish Civil War, allowing it to dominate Spain's financial sector under his dictatorship. Raymond Carr in Spain, A History, sheds light on how large corporations like Iberdrola and other monopolies took advantage of state favor to grow during the Francoist era. In Chile, we have the most aggressive fascist regimes in South America. Peter Kornbluh in the Pinochet File, a declassified dossier on atrocity and accountability, reveals declassified U.S. government documents proving ITT lobbied for Pinochet's coup and worked with the CIA to destabilize Chile. Naomi Klein in The Shock Doctrine analyzes how Milton Friedman's Chicago Boys advised Pinochet implementing privatization, deregulation, and austerity, which benefited corporations while harming workers. And let's not forget one of the first things every fascist regime did: hunt down, imprison, torture, and execute communists, socialists, and trade union leaders. Fascism isn't anti-capitalist. It's capitalism when it drops the democratic mask. Now, if fascism represents extreme capitalism, what about communism? In our next episode, we'll explore how real socialism was always against and fought capitalist exploitation. Stay tuned for part 4.
Hot take, basic needs shouldn't require a job. Well, then no one will want to work anymore. Okay, you've been convinced that's a bad thing, that lazy people somehow take something from you. If we didn't have to work to live, we could actually come together as workers and say, no, that job fucking sucks, I'm not doing that. When you're not forced to work out of desperation, jobs actually have to compete to entice workers. That means incentivizing us to work with higher pay and competitive benefits. Oh, but what about the people who still won't want to work? Okay, picture for a minute you are given the most basic ass studio apartment and canned food to live on. Are you gonna be content with that? No, you want a PlayStation, you want to go to the movies, you want to go out to eat, you want nice clothes, you want a bigger apartment, you want better food. There are still plenty of reasons to work beyond needing to survive. And Jesus Christ, if we're not striving for that as a society, as technology progresses, as productivity increases, what are we doing? Are you seriously satisfied just boosting shareholder profits? We can do better, and the first step is normalizing the fact that basic human needs required to survive are a right. Stay angry.
All right. So yeah, now I have 2 revolutionary fighters that I admire very much, and Malcolm X is one of my favorite books that I read from him as an author, and he was more than that. Okay, I think we should honor his energy. Also Fred Hampton, which was one of the Black Panther parties that was, making moves. Okay, so this advice, this is most of the reason why they were, threatened by the state and government, is because they were speaking this type of awakening class consciousness for all of y'all to understand. And yeah, once a lot of us who understand this is why we have to create communities, we have to protect each other, we have to continue advocating, continue exposing, because staying silent and ignorant actually confirms to the colonizers and capitalists that you're okay with what they're doing. And if you're okay with genocide, you're okay with murdering, butchering children, just because they are a different color than you, a different race than you, then you are just as them. You are exactly just like them. That's it. You are racist, and you definitely have multiple demonic spirits, and you are inhumane. Like, it's just, where's your humanity? Where's your empathy? And the thing is that this is why it's important to know that just because you think that other people's right is being violated, that it's not going to happen to you, but that's why you lose it. That's why you lose your rights, because you don't stand up for other people who are losing it. Because eventually it will trickle down to you if nobody does anything. This is why we have to not continue enabling this energy and continue to fight, just like the other guy mentioned, which is important. I hope that message resonates when he says that Just because you think it's not going to happen to you, or because it was done in the 1930s, that the 21st century is different now. And it means that we have to do it even better than save as much people as we can in that past. That means that we have to speak louder. That means we have to stronghold in our laws, strong conviction, strong faith with God. And not use God and the Bible and stuff like that, the tools that are religious tools, basically, to connect with Source, which we already connected, okay? As a weapon of oppression. We should not allow that. Remember, that's what they did to the indigenous people. That's why they started colonization, using the Bible, trying to convert them. Don't be like those disgusting ancestors. Okay? Be like the ancestors who fought against their genocide, Holocaust, and oppression. Be those humans that you want to see now.
So to accuse us of being violent is like accusing a man who is being lynched, who is being hung on a tree, simply because he struggles vigorously against his lyncher. The victim is accused of violence, but the lyncher is never accused of violence. And I only point this out because the various racist groups that are set up in this country by whites and who have actually practiced violence against blacks for 400 years are never associated or identified or made synonymous with the term violence. But whites speak of Muslims almost synonymously with violence. Whenever Muslims are mentioned by them, violence is brought up.
Not a racist organization because we understand that racism is an excuse used for capitalism, and we know that racism is a byproduct of capitalism.
If we don't hate the motherfucking white people, we hate the oppressor, whether he be white, black, brown, or yellow.
We're gonna fight racism, not with racism, but we're gonna fight with solidarity. We said we're not gonna fight capitalism with black capitalism, but we're going to fight it with socialism. Everything would be all right if everything was put back in the hands of the people, and we're gonna have to put it back in the hands of the people. And these people in this class have divided themselves. They say, I'm black and I hate white people. I'm white and I hate black people. I'm Latin American and I hate hillbillies. I'm hillbilly and I hate Indians. So we fight amongst each other.
Nothing's more important than stopping fascism, because fascism will stop us all.
That's the people's thing. Socialism is the people. You're afraid of yourself. If you're afraid of socialism, you're afraid of yourself.
Okay. Just to finalize it, like I said in my podcast, this is what I do to confirm messages and reading the energy that we just share here. But this is already too long, so I'm just gonna tap in and see if other items. Okay, so it says grateful optimism, joyous view of the future. So that's what we're doing here. Never forget that your joy is revolutionary, okay? Looking up at the future, understanding that, you know, your chakra, your crown chakra, these are stuff like a lot of you are unbelievable, okay? You are a breath of fresh air, okay? Don't forget that. Don't let the colonizers or anybody or whatever is going on in the world, like the constant fear-mongering and trauma, you know, jeopardize you, okay? Exactly. A lot of you are the guide. You're getting guided during this time, okay? Guided, illuminated path. So a lot of you, this is what we're doing, okay? Don't forget, there's amazing healers, advocates, shamans, okay? People, we have come multiple times to continue this work, okay? This is something that, this is why for a lot of us, it resonates, a lot of the videos or a lot of the content creators and a lot of people, is because this is something that already happened. This is something that we already witnessed, we already lived, and we survived. And they don't want you guys to know this because these are the descendants of these demonic, diabolical people. Okay? What else do we need to know, Father God? Master Buddha, increase awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. Exactly. So a lot of you something about tapping in, meditating as well, connecting with God. Master Buddha, Master Jesus, which all talks about forgiveness, but I spoke with Father God, my master, on this. Like, yeah, we'll give forgiveness when there's justice and accountability, which this is something that it hasn't happened. Okay, yeah. Don't lose the hope, okay? Hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts, okay? A lot of you, that's what it is. They're trying to create fear, mongering fear of things so that you guys, exactly, lose faith. Don't do that. They'll give him that, okay? Humanity and benevolence, okay? You guys have that humanity and that benevolence. And this is why it pisses off all these people who carry all this trauma, all this demonic energy that they don't want to address, that they don't want to educate yourself. They don't want to do the healing. They don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So it is difficult. So you're not crazy. You're not, I'm going to post this message about... Anyways, I'll put it here. It's really healing. I feel like a lot of us, we need to focus on the healing and the joy, but also be grateful of what you already have and you're able to accomplish at this point. A lot of us, we never thought that I know that there's a lot that I will say that I feel like it's not good enough, but for now, this is what we have and this is what Father God is asking us to do, and we just need to be obedient and continue doing it, okay? Don't forget to join Arc Energy. Wow, voice of truth, exactly. A lot of you continue this energy because a lot of you carry the voice of truth. That is, and it's resonant, and this is why they're targeting you, oppressing you, and trying to quiet you down, trying to shut you up. Shut the fuck up spells not working, all the diabolical satanic rituals not working, okay, to keep you guys up, because now this energy is larger. Just like they try to sacrifice Jesus Christ, and now the energy is larger. Just like when they try to silence any revolutionary fight, the energy is just gross, okay? They can never do that. That's the point, okay? So a lot of you, this is a parasitic energy that a lot of us are the antidote. The truth is the awakening, and it is the medicine to continue to change system. These people want to live off you, of your oppression, of your, living, like, literally doing nothing, lazy as fuck. They don't want fucking work, and then they have the audacity to tell people that we are the lazy ones, that we're not working enough, that we're not doing enough. Mental slavery kind of thing, also psychological warfare. It is real, okay? Father God, they say feel like it's the Virgin Mary energy as well. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others. See the light in the world, okay? Don't forget that. You have to see. This is why I learned that a lot from the Palestinians. Like, even they're going through genocide and everything, like, they're constantly, like, trying to be happy, trying to find joy, because they love life. They want to live in their land in peace. Like, I don't, and it's crazy that we're doing this to the most genuinely amazing people. The chosen, the real ones. And that's how I know that for a fact. So anybody else trying to copycat them and trying to steal from them and murder them and trying to be like them, you're a pathetic loser. Pathetic. And you will never be like them. Never. No matter how many Zionist ideology, your bullshit kakalaka, it will never be like them. You will never. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, okay? Release the fear of persecution and speak your truth, okay? A lot of you, please continue doing that, okay? Commander Aster, call to action, take charge, lead by example, walk your talk, okay? So a lot of you, that's it, intimidates a lot of these people, that a lot of you really are walk your talk. You really are that person. You really are authentic. You really are truthful. You really are honest. A lot of you that are trying to find anything wrong with you through defamation of character, try to find anything to put you in a system and do all kinds of weird shit, okay? But it's not happening, okay? There's some weird energy that is going to happen. Also, the good thing is that, yeah, there's this energy of justice as well. Yeah, your time is now. A lot of you, you're at the right place at the right time. You have to do what you're meant to do. Ready, time sensitive, act now, okay? So, prelude. You may feel not much is happening. However, the path you're now on is leading you to something great. Groundwork, first step, intro, okay? So a lot of you are doing the work. So a lot of us, it feels sometimes like we're not doing enough, that it's not good enough, or what else can we be doing? But this is, so for a lot of us, there's different spectrum of this activism, of the humanitarian work and pro-humanity, okay, and anti-genocide. Like, obviously we see the first energy of the falling of capitalism, which is fascism, right? So now we know that during that time, socialists and communists, this is how they beat this energy. So we need to be in that energy, just like in the past, but we need to do it better. And we need to maintain those policies, okay? Because for real, yeah, thwarted plans. Sharpen your will and persevere. It will not cause any long-term negative consequences, disruption, delays, interference, okay? At the bottom of this, small steps, exactly. It's not going to happen all one shot, but we need to take the steps together, united, okay? The small wins, the small triumphs, the everyday victories, celebrate them. They will take you there, okay? Slow and steady and careful actions, okay? Again, this energy of being careful, talk to God before, confirm with him first, like don't do anything reckless or stuff like that, like wait for his confirmation, okay? Anything else, Father God? Okay, what are the attacks? What's going on? Let's tap in. Let's see what we already know what they're attacking. Because I find this deck, it talks about the evil eye and jealousy. Yeah, see, health attacks. It went reverse. So they're doing this to cause some health problems. So it's happening now it's going back to them, okay? Someone's trying to negatively affect your health, either physically or mentally. So trying to make you go crazy. Again, this is psychological. This is why they need the trauma, the fear-mongering, because they feed off of that, exactly. Obsession. Someone is so obsessed with you to the point where they cannot stop thinking about you. Bueno. A lot of you have a snake or a negative energy. We talked about that in the podcast. The podcast, it will be in the description below, or also the next before this. It will be posted on YouTube, okay? So, or before this one, or after this. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. They're obsessed with you. So some of you have people watching you. This is, again, low vibrational energy, miserable, bitter. Just bitter. Yeah, see, they don't know what else to do because nothing is working. You see, you're protected. A lot of you, good job. You're being watched by multiple people who don't have your best interests at heart. I wonder who. You guys are in the same energy too, right? You're wondering who the fuck is watching you. So a lot of you, no, you don't have to be a content creator or the public eye or have a platform, but this is specifically for content creators, for truth tellers, okay? Yeah, these people are obsessed watching you and trying to come up on you or trying to defamation of character, stalking. Yeah, because they're losers. They're pathetic losers. And also they're afraid because you exposing the truth takes away their money. Their little bag that they take from stealing from other people, siphoning from other people, taking advantage from other people, enslaving people, children, stock market, and whatever, something about prison, stocks, something about weapon, companies, yeah, so companies build weapons and stuff like that. You're a fucking loser. What a fucking loser job you have. Killing people. Great job. Wow. You're gonna fucking rot in hell, bitch. A lot of you, you're gonna meet your maker, but not in the good way. The devil is happy, by the way. Good job. You're going right back to hell. Purgatory is little to these motherfuckers. Billionaires and oligarchs, everyone. All of them, they're cursed. Everyone. Love spell. Demon magic. So it's not a love spell. Okay, so now they're trying to make the masses not look at them in the wrong way. Like have sympathy for them. Are you kidding me? So this is why they don't want the truth exposed, because when you don't know what's going on, they can make up any lies and then they can, do their little rituals that they do. See, someone is casting love spell to win your love, okay? Or some of you, this is someone who's doing this to someone that you need to know. But you see, God comes in messages in between messages. That's why I'm surprised if someone watches the whole video to here, you'll get the message because it's meant for you. But those who are not here for that, you will hear the message, but you will know that it will be for somebody else or for your vicinity, something in your environment you need to be aware of, okay? There is someone doing that to your energy, okay? I call this spiritual rape, right? This is taking someone's free will and knowing that they don't have consent, and knowing that they don't have any awareness of this. This is why it works. But once the person is aware, usually people, when they watch my videos and I talk about this, I remove the spell. And we rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Anybody who has been casted or dealing with a love spell or any demon magic that has been put on them, in the name of Jesus. I pray that you're awake, and I pray that you're protected and covered so this doesn't happen again. Because I feel like this is something that you have awakened multiple times already, especially this person who is obsessed, someone who's affecting your health. You know who this is. Stop being naive, because this is why you enable also this specific person or people or cult to do this, and they continuously do it because you say, it's okay, they won't do it again. It's okay, I'm protected, it's fine. There's guidance and there's steps to do to take away people who are not meant to be in your energy. One of those things is not obviously to take bath fast, okay, but also remove yourself from their energy. Create protection ways in your home, in your vicinity, so that this doesn't continue happening, because this is someone who has it feels that it's working in some way, and maybe it is, and they continue doing it. This is someone who maybe you caught, or maybe someone told you already that they were doing that and you didn't really, I don't really think so. A lot of you're really stuck in codependency relationship or jobs or friendships or convenience or situationships that you know it's not good for you. Okay? Yeah. It says someone is conjuring demons to block your blessings and bring harm your way. But then they create love spells so that you don't see. So this is someone who pretends to love you, to care for you, but meanwhile they're casting demons. And demon magic does not have to be just like spells and whatever. It could be like gossiping, talking bad about you, putting you in certain areas, your work or something like that, or putting you in a list of, targeted, right? Example like that, okay? But also, I feel like the energy, what it comes up to, we can tap into, but I feel like also someone's conjuring demons to block your blessing and bring harm your way. This is what a Zionism is. What they do to Palestinians, what they do to the world now, because obviously the US is controlled by Israel now, right? But they're doing love spells because they want the people to feel bad for them, to believe their lies, and to believe that they are the victims, to not lose love for them. Don't hate us. That's why they use the anti-Semitism energy. Yeah, I can't make this up. Look. Collaborated with others to create rituals to jeopardize your life, love, finances, and health. This is literally confirms the health, confirms the love life, confirms this. A lot of you don't have to be in the public eye. Maybe you're supposed to be in the public eye. Others of you already are. Maybe you have a small platform or something like that, or some of you have a podcast or a blog or something like that. Look, I break that deck and it says backfire. I cannot make this up. Dark energy sent your will be turned back on the sender. A failed attempt. Okay. Some of you are loyal. Okay. You're loyal to your cause, to your purpose, to God. Okay. Yeah, so some of you have holding back, or some of you are loyal and you're holding back from any not loyal energy, or anybody who's just not, especially anybody who have collaborated with others to create rituals to jeopardize you. What the fuck? No. Cut that shit off. Again, this is someone that they're jealous and envious of you. Others of you know that this is someone who is connected to an ex or someone who is fucked up. This is why they know that you're loyal. They know that you're holding back and that you don't want to talk to them anymore, because they're still in this energy. This energy needs to get the fuck out. They need to cut the shit off, block it or not. Or if not, you're not. A lot of you can smell fucking demonic stench, vile energy. A lot of you know that now the energy when you smell fucking IOF in your country, right? You know where they're at. It's not hard. They're very boastful and disgusting, right? These are people, by the way, they have killed children and rape and all kinds of fucking shit, and they're just roaming around like nothing and then telling people, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. Fuck you, motherfucker. I don't feel safe having you around. You should be in prison. Jealous of you, projects insecurity, karma, bitch. They're getting their karma. Yeah, only time will tell. Only time will tell. Yeah, see, this is it. This is someone superficial, ego, stuck in 3D. These people are disgusting. They're stuck. They're stuck in fucking hell. That's where they're going. Yeah, detached from emotions, stuck in 3D and karmic situation, whatever. Someone's stuck, okay? Like they need to get their head out of, a lot of people are stuck, okay? Stuck in the jealousy, stuck in the collaborating with others to someone who's loyal. They don't know what loyalty is. That's what it is. They don't know what authenticity is. And that's a good thing that you're holding yourself back. Listen to your intuition and listen to your discernment. I'm telling you right now, someone who's not okay with your boundaries or trying to, no. Return to send 1,000 times one. So it is. Angels are protecting you, okay? And listen to your intuition. When you feel like you shouldn't go to a party or you shouldn't go to a certain date or something like that, or someone wants to come back out of nowhere and something is telling you not to fucking go, do not go. That is literally your protection, okay? A lot of you don't feel like driving. Take the bus, then do that. Listen to your intuition and discernment. A lot of you, there is a lot of people projecting right now, especially because they can't deal with the karma. They can't deal with the fact that you are a lawyer, that you were exactly what they thought that you weren't. You want to know why they didn't believe that you were a lawyer and that you were a good person, that you're not stuck in your ego, okay? And that you're not you don't care about these people. You don't operate in that jealousy energy. Do you want to know why? Because clearly you are a reflection of what they could be, but they decide not to. So they project. They gaslight. A lot of you, hang on. The whole world is being gaslight right now. Why? Because a bunch of motherfucking psychopaths want to continue stealing money. Literally, we see it clear as day. We don't buy the propaganda anymore. We want our necessities to be met. We want our human rights to be not violated, right? Making you jealous with someone else. Karma. A lot of you like, what the fuck? This is so insecure or something like that. Like a lot of you like, for real. Yeah. The hidden truth. So this is someone super immature for a lot of you. Okay. A lot of you move on from energy like that. Like you find that super like low vibration and you lose interest. Any divine feminine or masculine will lose interest when anybody's trying to make you jealous. Like, what the fuck? Their karma is literally you moving on with someone else. That's it. Like, okay, boo. Go have your karmic. It's cool. Like, that's so weird. A real divine masculine will be with you making other girls jealous. But because they're with you. That's the energy. Not the other way around. Trying to get to you, trying to control and manipulate you by trying to make you jealous with someone else. That they're not interested. They're just trying to make you jealous so that you can, so they can get a reaction out of you. That is so immature. And it's super insecure. And you have nothing there to do. Just let that go. A lot of you calling you soon. Bueno. So I feel like someone wants to confess to you that that's what they were doing. Have empathy. Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like this person needs to own to their own mistakes, right? Because, yeah, everybody can make mistakes. Everybody can be insecure and, learn from the karmic mistakes and be like, yeah, I did that. I regret that shit. I should have never done that. That's fine. Earn your mistakes. Learn from them. Be courageous and brave and stand out for it. Like, okay, this is wrong. I should have never done that. Made a mistake. That's not it. I will work on this. I'm going to make sure that I work with this with my actions. Not just fucking words, y'all. With actions. Yeah, emotionally unstable in reverse. You're not emotionally unstable. This is something, energy that this is what they want you guys to be. That's the health attack, all the situation energy. They want you emotionally unstable. But guess what? They're the one emotionally unstable and they can't stand it. These are people who can't stand themselves and they can't stand you and can't stand themselves. Can you imagine what a miserable life that might be? Yeah, that's why. Because you're an earth warrior. Always win against the devil. Keep fighting and don't lose hope. Okay? A lot of you are earth angel, believe it or not. Okay? And yes, this is part of the psychological, spiritual warfare that we are all globally going through right now because we are all awakened. And now we're healing through it. We're working through it together. We're continuing nurturing our empathy, our discernment, our intuition the Father God has given us. We're going to change systems. We're going to do this together. We're not going to do this, okay, I'll do it. No, it's impossible. We cannot change the world by ourselves, like alone in individualistic energy. It's impossible. And unfortunately, this is the new age needs to learn the hard way, because they're all like, oh, I need to protect my energy because I cannot look at social media right now. For them, being in solidarity and watching people suffering and asking for help because they're being hurt. They're taking their precious and loved things from them because of their religion, because of their status, because of where they live, because of what they own. It's too much negative energy for this communities, this spiritual fake ass community. And it's sad. And I want nothing, no part in that. I like to be different. I want to be the community person that helps people, even when if it's not convenient for me, because I know that those rights that they're being violated, eventually it will trickle back to any of the people that I love. And that's not okay with me. If it's not okay with you, thank you so much for supporting this community. Make sure that you like the video. It does help to keep us here. Thank you for watching all the way here. If you made it all the way here, I appreciate you. Okay. Make sure that you also like the podcast. It's going to be the one before or after, or it's going to be on your Spotify or any of your podcast favorite. Make sure you share as well. There's part 1 that I would suggest. Again, you watch that. I'm not able to put the videos in here because my computer is kind of not working, but I'm working on that. All those of you, thank you so much. I pray that this helped you, that this has enlightened you and has able to confirm all the videos and all the energy that is going on right now. This lunar eclipse in Virgo, it's all about communication and releasing, okay? Releasing any trauma or anything that doesn't belong to you, and then communicating with others what injustices and abuse, because that's how you expose fascism and disgusting energy. That's also how you break generational curses, with your voice, with the truth. Remember, the enemy does not want you guys to do this. That's why you have to do it, whether people like it or not, whether they make uncomfortable or not. People who are comfortable during this time, it says a lot about them and how their soul is just sick. They're soulless. They're heartless. And at this point, if I would not be doing any business or any reading or anything with any of those people, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, when everything goes down, these are the people that are going to betray you and leave you for dead. Meanwhile, the leftists, as we call it, they were always right. They were always right. Okay? And these are the people, your community, are the ones that are going to give their life to help you survive. Okay? Don't forget that. I love you guys. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one.